Om Sairam, Shirdi Diary, penned by the Honorable Mr. G.S. Kapardi, second and long stay at Shirdi, dated 23/1/1912. I got up in time for Kakadarati and finished my prayers a little after daybreak. Sai Baba today, in leaving his bed, did not say even a single word, but when we saw him go out as usual, he showed a very joyous mood. I read Paramamrit with Upasani, Bapu Sahib Jog and Bhishma, and then went to see Sai Baba at the masjid. He was in a reticent mood and never said a word, and the midday arati passed off quietly. After it, we returned and had a meal. Madhav Rao had obtained permission to send Sai Baba's photo and Udi to Honorable Mr. Ruzel. I wished to write to her but did not feel myself in the mood and sat talking with a schoolmaster who has come here recently with his family to see Sai Baba. Dikshit read Ramayan and then we went to see Sai Baba at his evening stroll. He did not say much even then. At night, Bhishma, for the first time in this week, had his bhajan. Some young men of the village also came to sing bhajan, and then Dikshit read Ramayan. Mrs. Lakshmi Bai, Kaujwalgi, thinks of staying here always, and Sai Baba said she might do so for her good. And that's all of the day. And now let me take you to the next day, dated 24/1/1912. Somehow I overslept myself this morning. This made me late for everything. I had to hurry through all my usual routine. Somehow Mr. Dikshit also was late and everybody appeared to be in the same predicament. We saw Sai Baba go out, then read Paramamrit with Upasani, Bhishma and Bapu Sahib Jog. I then went to the masjid to see Sai Baba. Lakshmi Bai attended our Paramamrit class and went to the masjid after I reached. Sai Baba called her his mother-in-law and made a joke about her saluting him. This gave me the idea that she has been accepted by him as a disciple. The midday arati passed off in usual way, rather quietly. On my return from it, I found Mr. Sani, Mamlatdar of Kopagaon, sitting in the veranda. He was doing revenue work in connection with the extension of Gautan and removal of the cemetery and the burning cart. After meal, I tried to write a few letters but sat talking with Mr. Sani. Then Mr. Dikshit read Ramayan and later on I went to the masjid to see Sai Sahib. But as all were dismissed soon, I took Udi and stood near the Chavdi. I met there the Mohammedan Kabir Panti gentleman who came to Amaravati some time ago with Satai and Ansari. In the evening there was the Arati at the Vada and then Sage Arati at the Chavdi. I held the mortal as usual. Madhavrav Deshpande woke up in the morning and said that he had to call me more than once before I answered his call. I prayed and attended the Kakadarati. Sai Baba walked to the masjid in silence. On return, we held a Paramamrit class with Upasani, Bapu Sahib Jog and Bhishma and Mrs. Lakshmi Bai. We finished the chapter on Mahavakya Vivek. Then we saw Sai Sahib both when he went out and after returned to the masjid. The midday arati went off as usual and Sai Sahib gave me smoke very often. After meals, I lay down for a while and then we had Ramayan. Dikshit read it and later on went to see Sai Baba. He was in a pleased mood. At night there was the Vada Arati, Bhishma's Bhajan and Dikshit's Ramayan. I may mention the fact that in the evening at stroll time, Sai Baba told me nearly the whole previous history of Mrs. Lakshmi Bai. I knew it to be correct as I knew the facts. And the day was wrapped. Now let me take you to the next day, dated 26/1/1912. In the morning, I got up very early by myself and miscalculating the time, it wanted to sunrise. I said my prayers and walked up and down in the veranda. I thought I was before time by about an hour and a half. After sunrise, I began the routine of life and we went out. We read a little Paramamrit, saw Sai Baba go out and again after he returned. I felt unwell, so I lay down for a while. And the day was wrapped this way. And now let me take you to the next day, dated 27/1/1912. I got up early in the morning, prayed and attended the Kakadarati. Sain Baba did not quietly go to the masjid without a word, and yet he did not say much. I, Upasani, Bapu Sahib Jog and Bhishma read Paramamrit, saw Sain Baba go out, and again after he returned, the midday arati passed off easily, and after it we had our meals as usual. I lay down a while, then wrote a letter and attended afternoon Ramayana read by Dikshit. We saw Sain Baba at a stroll, and he spoke pleasantly, though in a serious mood. Towards its end, he spoke loud and angry. I am told that after break, he spoke louder, still making an occasion for the exhibition of his anger of the fact that Ibrahim, the convert, stood near the kind with his hands on the breach of wall. Sain Sahib's clothes were also washed by Radhakrishna Bai, and he was angry with her for having done so. And the day was wrapped, and let me take you to the next day, dated 28/1/1912. I slept very well last night and got up in the time to pray before daybreak and commenced the routine of the day. I went about 8 p.m. to the temple of Kandoba, where Upasani lives, and sat talking with him. It is a nice little place. We held our Paramamrit class in the quarters of Bapu Sahib Jog, as talking and discussing Vedanta subject in the veranda of my lodging disturbs my son Balwant. We saw Sain Maharaj go out and again after he returned to the masjid. He asked me how we spent the morning, and I gave him an account of what we did. He appeared to be in a pleased mood, and midday arati passed off easy, except that Radhakrishna Bai appeared to be put out and vexed, and she closed the doors. So the arati things could not be got at soon. After the midday meal, I lay down for a while, then wrote a letter and attended the Purana of Ramayana by Dikshit. Then we went and saw Sain Maharaj at a stroll in the evening. Then there was Vada Arati, but no bhajan, as Bhishma was unwell. At night, Dikshit read Ramayana after we returned from Sage Arati, and the day was wrapped. Now let's move on to the next day, dated 29/1/1912. I got up early in the morning, prayed, and found that I was a bit too early, but I kept on and attended the Kakadarati. On my return, I began the routine of the day. About 9 a.m., I went to Bapu Sahib, and with him and Upasani began the Paramamrit. But most unaccountably, I felt so sleepy that I could not make no progress. At last I returned to my lodging and lay down and fell asleep so long that I did not get up till 12:30 or 1 p.m. Madhavrao Deshpande and others tried to awaken me for the arati and call me aloud, but I did not respond. At last they went to the arati, and somehow the matter reached the ears of Sahin Sahib, and he said that he would awaken me. Somehow I got up as the arati was being finished and attended the closing portion of it. I felt ashamed of having slept so long. I felt drowsy during the rest of the day. Narayan Baman Gankar came today from Sholapur. He is a very nice young man, and I sat talking with him. Then in the afternoon, I attended the Purana of Dikshit and saw Sain Sahib at his evening stroll. I had seen him when he went out between 9 and 10 a.m. In the evening, there was Bhajan of Bhishma, and afterwards the Purana of Dikshit. He read Ramayana as usual. Now let's move on to the next day, dated 31/1912. I got up early but did not like to leave bed and be in work for fear of becoming again overcome by sleep as I was yesterday. I left bed before daybreak, finished my prayers, and went to Bapu Sahib Chowk for our Paramamrit class. Upasani Shastri, Mrs. Lakshmi Bai, and Bapu Sahib were there, and we made very good progress. We saw Sahin Baba go out and saw him again after he returned to the masjid. He asked me how I spent the morning, and I gave him an account of what we did. After the midday arati, I returned and we had a meal. Later on, Mr. Dikshit read Ramayana. Bhishma and Madhavrao Deshpande attended the reading. Some 2 men of this village and the younger brother of Sitaram Dingle also came and sat talking after the reading was finished. One of them recited the Chanda on Ramayana. Then I went to see Sain Baba at the masjid, and he again asked me how I spent afternoon. When I mentioned my writing letters, he smiled and said, "It is better moving your hands than sitting idle." We saw him have his evening stroll, and at night attended the Sage Arati. There was no bhajan tonight, but reading of Bhagavata took up all its time, and Dikshat read Ramayana at night. Now let's move on to the next day, dated 31/1/1912. I got up in time for Kakadarati and went to it with Narayan Bamangankar. Sai Maharaj exhibited slightly anger feelings as we returned. We held a Paramamita class, but Bapu Sahib Jog, Upasani Shastri, and Mrs. Lakshmi Bai and finished a good deal. I returned to my lodging about 11 a.m. and tried to write a few letters, but most unaccountably fell asleep in the act of writing. Bau, son of Dada Kelkar, woke me up and I went to the masjid for midday arati. I had previously seen Sain Maharaj go out as usual. The midday arati passed off as usual. All the inmates of the two vadas, together with a few others, were invited to the afternoon meal by Dada Kelkar in the memory of the 13th day of Megha's death. The meal was naturally very late, and I lay down and slept sound till I was called to it. It was finished about 5 p.m. and then I went to the masjid and sat near Sain Sahib. He was in a very pleasant mood, talked pleasantly, danced and sang, and reminded me and others very strongly of what Krishna did in Gokul. We saw him at his evening stroll. After the Vada Arati, Bhishma did a little bhajan and Kaka Dikshit read Ramayan. He finished Sundarkand of it tonight. And the day was wrapped. Now let's move on to the next day, dated 1/2/1912. I was somewhat late in getting up, but was able to finish my prayers and in time to attend Paramamrit class. The book was finished today and we shall begin to revise it tomorrow. I then went to the masjid, sat with Sain Maharaj and accompanied him out up to Sateswada. People assembled there as usual to salute him. I joined their group and saluted him, and returning to Bapu Sahib's quarters, commenced Panchadashi and explained the first 10 verses, which really contain the whole work of germinal form. Then I returned to my quarters, wrote a few letters and had them sent off, went to the masjid to attend the midday arati. It passed off all right. Mr. Manik Chand of Ahmednagar, who has this year taken the degree of LLB, came there. They stayed here the whole day. We had our meals after we returned from Arati, and I sat reading Jnaneshwari, edited by Sakre Bua. Unfortunately, like the other edition, it does not solve all my difficulties. Later on, Mr. Dikshit read Ramayan, Mr. Sane, Mamlatar of Shirdi, and Mr. Sate, deputy collector and sub-divisional officer, came and sat talking for some time. We resumed our Ramayan after they went, and in the evening went to the masjid to meet Sain Baba at his evening stroll. After the Vada Arati, we attended the Sage Arati. Bhishma did not have his bhajan but read Sakaram's Prakrit Bhagavat, and at night Mr. Dikshit read Ramayan. Today evening, when we assembled at the masjid before Sain Baba started on a stroll, Sain Sahib told Mr. Dikshit to give 200 rupees to my wife, who was then shampooing the legs of Sain Sahib. This order was unaccountable. Has it come to this that I have to be maintained by charity? I prefer death to this. Sain Sahib, I think, wished to curb and finally destroy my pride. So he is getting me used to poverty and the charity of others. And the day was wrapped. Let me take you to the next day, dated 2/2/1912. I got up for the Kakadarati, and after it we held up Panchadashi class, but somehow felt to speak of Panchadashi and commenced to read it. It is about the best work on the subject, and none can take precedence of it. I went to see Sain Maharaj before he went out and accompanied him up to Sateswada, and afterwards attended the midday arati. Today I got a letter from Amravati asking me to return to practice. I told Madhavra Deshpande to ask Sain Maharaj, and he promised to do so. Now let's move on to the next day, dated 3/2/1912. I was late in getting up, and it appeared that there was a wave of laziness. Bapu Sahib Jog was late. I turned up the diary for the 1st February 1912 and read the passage indicated by you. It correctly represents my feelings. As Sadguru Sai Maharaj gave the order, being omniscient, he knew everything, including all my innermost thoughts, and never insisted on the order being carried out. Now that my attention has been drawn to the matter, it appears to me that my wife then did not like the life of labor and poverty. Kaka Sahib Dikshit had accepted the life and was happy. So Sain Maharaj asked him to give 200 rupees, that is poverty and patience, to my life. Bapu Sahib Jog was late, so was Mr. Dikshit and nearly everybody else. After finishing my prayers, I went to the masjid, but Sain Baba told me to take Udi without entering it. I did so, and proceeding to the quarters of Bapu Sahib Jog, sat reading Panchadashi with him. Upasani and Mrs. Lakshmi Bai, we went on reading till midday and then went to Sain Baba's Arati. After it, we had a midday meal. I had a little rest and then sat reading the Saboda. Mr. Dikshit read Ramayana in the afternoon. Ganoba Abba, a local devotee of Sain Baba, came to hear it. He knows a large number of verses and has many by heart. He went and saw Sain Baba at his stroll. Madhavrao Deshpande told me that he has Sain Baba about my returning to Amrati, and the latter declined the necessary permission, saying he was an old man and did not like to lose his abru. He said that some 200 men went to a neighboring town and were taken as Reuters. That Madhavrav's name was introduced into the list of Reuters for nothing, and that there was a trouble about it. At night, there was the Vada Arati and the Sage Arati, and I attended both. Bhishma had no bhajan but read Bhagavat instead, and then there was Ramayana of Dikshit, and the day was wrapped. Now let's move on to the next day, dated 4/2/1912. In the morning, I got up early, attended the Kakadarati, and then finished my prayers. As I was bathing, two gentlemen came inquiring about Narayan Rao Bamangankar. They were Lingayat Shastris, the eldest being known as Shivanand Shastri. There are two ladies with them. These ladies are Brahmins. The eldest of them is called Brahmanand Bai. Some 3 years ago, she met a Lingayat lady by name Nityananda Bai at Nasik. She was an advanced yogini and instructed Brahmananda Bai. We all saw Sain Maharaj go out, and again after he returned to the masjid, Brahmananda Bai worshipped him and sang two aratis. After the midday arati, I had my meal and lay down for a while. Then there was the Puran of Dikshit, and then we went to see Sain Baba at his evening stroll. After the Vada arati at night, Mr. Dikshit had his Puran, and then Bhishma had his bhajan. The ladies Brahmananda Bai and her companion sang very beautifully, and we all enjoyed the bhajan very much. Shivananda Shastri also sang. The Shastri and the ladies came from Nasik. They are permanent inhabitants of the place. And the day was wrapped. And let us wind up for today, and tomorrow we'll see what all happened on date 5/2/1912. Om Shri Sainathaya Namaha.